Breaking tonight, the suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination now facing the justice system, making his first court appearance today as prosecutors announce they will, in fact, seek the death penalty. I want to bring in criminal defense attorney and federal litigator Vikas Bajaj, along with former NYPD inspector and Fox News contributor and attorney Paul Morrow. Guys, I want to share a little sound to get us started here. This is Jeffrey Gray talking about Robinson's motives. I'll get you to react after this.
Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet at their home. As they discussed the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there is too much evil and the guy, referring to Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate.
Paul, this sounds like a textbook case of premeditation. What's your reaction to what you just heard there?
Yeah, well, of course it is, and I think one of the reasons that the premeditation, all the planning, and then all the evasive maneuvers that he took afterwards is going to preclude an insanity defense. In Utah, you essentially have to say you have a mental defect, your brain wasn't working, and as a result, you did what you did. But very clearly, he knew what he was doing. It was all very intricately planned. It wasn't well planned. He thought it was intricate. He thought he was a lot smarter than he is, and he left all kinds of clues. But very, very clearly here, he knew what he was doing. He did it very cognizantly. The intent is established. We have the aggregating factor, and as a state case, this should go forward without any of the complications, in my opinion, of a federal case. This is a state murder case that should go right now to an information and then get on with the process.
I'm just curious, though, Vic, as we watch cases like this on occasion play out, they come in, they seem cut and dried, and then it doesn't always go that way. But based on what we've learned so far, and Paul alluded to it, this seems pretty straightforward to me. Your thoughts?
It does. In this case, you have motive, you have evidence that has been corroborated as linking towards the defendant in this case. You have premeditation, and Paul hit the nail on the head. Premeditation flies in the face of any claim of insanity, and very importantly, premeditation can be created in a matter of seconds or minutes. It doesn't have to be years or weeks or days of planning, so Paul's right about that. And you also have adoptive admissions and full admissions. I did the crime. This is why I did it. And one thing we didn't hear, which is going to be extraordinarily important for the fact finder when it comes time to decide whether Mr. Robinson is going to be put to death or not, life or death, is a lack of remorse. I have yet to hear, you know what, I probably shouldn't have done it. Maybe I overreacted. I didn't mean to kill Charlie Kirk. None of that. It's almost a sense of pride, a notch in the belt, and that strikes in the face of any argument that he should not be subject to the death penalty in the state of Utah.
Yeah, excellent point indeed. And it just doesn't seem to be a need right now for the feds to get in there, although we'll have to see how it all plays out eventually. Let me share this, gentlemen, and get you both to react. The Wall Street Journal editorial board, very pointed. Again, maybe 15 seconds each. It says, all of this suggests a political motivation rooted in gradual radicalization. This makes the murder all the more chilling because the evidence doesn't suggest some, and you alluded to this, Vic, some psychological break that often affects young men of his age. The texts show that even after the murder, Mr. Robinson imagined he could get away with it. 15 seconds each. First to you, Paul.
Well, as I said, he thought he was a lot smarter than he is, but all I would say is that he apparently really hooked into the hyper-progressive ecosystem online that sanctions this sort of stuff. And when we get the both sidesism argument against the right, all I would say is that on the left, it's much more virulent, it's much better funded, and when you consider that somebody like Tim Walz, who was almost the vice president of this country, talked about waking up and being disappointed that Donald Trump was alive. Yeah. I think they lose that argument, and we really need to wise up because we can't have this in this society.
Indeed. Vic, wrap us up.
Some may say that the federal government should not be involved. The reality is they are involved, and the quote there that you just pointed out for all our viewers and listeners is, in my opinion, the reason why. Where is this politicization coming from? Who is at the top of the pyramid, and which echo chambers are allowing these conversations to take place? This is outside the purview of any state in the union and squarely within the purview of the federal government. So they will be involved, and I believe there will be fruits of that investigation.
Yeah, they're going to have to really get after some of these organizations, Antifa and the others. At least that's what I'm hearing here in Washington. We'll see how that all moves forward. Gentlemen, thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate it.